Hello, everyone. This is Rosano. We're live streaming from Papaya Playa Project in Tulum. We're having a small interview and chat with Moscow Man. He's an Israeli DJ, producer, and record label owner. He has a record label called Disco Halal. So this time we're going to be asking him some questions about how set up a record label as it and some other things. Remember, this is a fundraiser we're going to be having the full weekend. So if you feel so, you can give your donation through our webpage and help us to help the people in Tulum. We're not having a we're having a situation here with the quarantine, so any help, it's well received. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Hope on your side things are also all right.
Great. That's a nice T-shirt.
Thank you. I think we matched. We met today. If anybody asks.
I know. Okay, so when did you decide to start your record label? Like, what was the moment when you?
I think it was. I think year-wise, it was 5 years ago. A little more than 5 years. The label is 5 years old, but I'm guessing at the end of 2013. No, sorry, 2014. I had some thoughts about. It wasn't. I didn't want to start as a record label. I started it as an imprint, or call it. I mean, it was the vinyl. I said, let's do a vinyl, and then let's see what's going on with it. That was the reality. In truth, I knew that I'm going to do a label. It just I didn't know that it's going to become what it is.
Okay, so it was just the main idea was just to print in vinyl at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, the main idea was the first thing was the edit vinyl.
Okay.
The first Disco Halal, actually the first 4 Disco Halal records were edits. And I just asked a few friends of mine for some edits that I used to DJ, used to play them, and I asked them if they wanted to be on a record, The rest is pretty history,
Okay. And why did you decide to set it up? Like, was it mainly to put your own records out there, or was it just like?
No, actually, it was just the opposite. The main reason I did it is for the fact that I wanted my friends and people that I really like musically, and people that weren't so known at the time to have like a nice outlet for their stuff. It started with things like the first record was like Asid Arab and Otarki and Mehmet Aslan. And after that it was there were Red X's on it, and there were some cool kids from Istanbul, and the third and the fourth, it was also I had a track on it. The fourth one was the Brazilian with Selvagem. It was only Brazil kind of things, and that was the first 4 records that we did. Was only edits. I was very lucky on the first record. I was very lucky because I got picked up by a really cool media. Like, it was like on Fact Magazine and Vinyl Factory, and like after that, everything everything I did since then is well received. Of course, you need to keep up the standards of the music, but it was like, okay, I broke through, because also it was the right time for this Middle Eastern kind of edits and Middle Eastern music. But basically, it was always, and still till today. I mean, if I look at all the discography that we did, I released 2 tracks. I mean, no, I released the track as Moscow Man. I released the track and the collaboration record with the Organism that we did, the first record of last year, and 1 track on the edits. That was everything. I never wanted to make it my own personal playground.
Okay. What's the biggest challenge you should expect when setting up a label? Like, there are so many things people don't see behind.
I think the biggest challenge for everything, and I think you can hear it. It's about consistency. It's about having the good output all the time, and being able to select the right music all the time, and not letting the standard down. That's my biggest challenge. Of course, at the beginning, I mean, anybody that opens now a record label without 12 records forward, I think it's a waste of time, because at some point you start. It's better to plan ahead, like everything in life, and not run after the label. If you need to run after, I don't know what's my next release. It's always, your schedule is getting fucked up, and there is a lot of people. Like, we're working with a lot of people. There's the PR now. At the beginning it's not like this, but after a while, when you get it bigger, so you have the PR, you have the distribution, you have, of course, the artists themselves that send you the music. You need to really to get to a point that you're staying on schedule, not including this kind of time that we're now. That's like, it's a little different than normal times. So basically, the first thing I would say is get a release plan, a big release plan. After that, I think it's not that difficult, because if you have a good release plan and a good output, you can create, digital stores, depend on, or the vinyl store, and create, and also even, make the record them, basically.
Okay. So what's the most rewarding thing about it? Like, what fulfills you the most?
For me, I think it's the fans, and the crowd. We have a very big family of fans. And if I go to parties, even when I partied in Tulum and people are coming with the shirts, and they're, for me, it's the most rewarding thing is the family that I created with all the artists, and we can push each other, and I try to help them and they help me. And I think this is the most rewarding thing. And I think this is the main reason of doing, for me, this is the main thing of doing. It's about keeping that family stuff.
Okay. And what's the plan for the future? What's in your mind about it?
It depends, it depends how you look at it. At this point, we're like in the weird times. So, but I feel like hopefully these things will change soon, and we can go back to the release plans and continue. I never released too much music. In Disco Halal, there is a few outlets. There is now a new outlet since last October, which is the Singles Halal, Disco Halal Singles Club, which are, it's always been a place for emerging artists, the label, but now it's like a place for really unknown kids, like, that send me cool music, because I get a lot of great music, and the things that I like the most are the things that I release. So it's like, keep on pushing on the Singles Club, and of course I do 6 releases a year or 5 releases a year on records. And I don't want to change it that much. I think this situation we will have to change a bit, adjust a bit to make a little different stuff, more. I don't know if less club music, but just music that can fit also listening not only in the clubs, which has always been my aim anyway. So I don't feel too much of a change. But and then the future, there's a lot of cool kids that coming, like people like Tanovisions and Buddha Kid. I always try to find the next, if not like, the next with the Singles Club, and people that I really like at the moment, where they're just starting, and I can help them to move forward,
Great. And can you tell us something about the next releases you have planned for your label?
Actually, no, not yet. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that are planned, but I feel like I feel like it's gonna take a while to get to that plan. There is a few, because things are changing. Like I said before, there are like Tanovisions and Buddha Kid, and hopefully an album, new Simple Symmetry album getting out. But I can't really say, time-wise and stuff like this. I hope this year we'll be able to do a couple of more releases, but I think this will be it for the year. And next year we'll go back to normal. There's a lot of really interesting artists, emerging artists, people from Israel that send me the music. The process that I do with the artists I don't know how other people do it, but I work a lot, with the artists themselves, and from the start, the music that they send me in the beginning till the time it comes out, there's a big process. So, if somebody, I decide to sign somebody in November, for example, it's not going to come out before April, May, by the time we're like working on it.
Great. And if you could go back in time and change something to make it different, like right now, having the experience you learned through these years running your label, what will it be? Would you change something?
I don't know. No, I honestly, I don't believe in it because, like in hindsight, because I think it's all kind of part of your learning process and everything you do. Because because when I started, I had zero idea, and I can't say that now I know anything. I still don't know really anything because it's a very random kind of life to release music. But I have to say that, I can say that that's like everything, all the mistakes I've did were a learning process, learning process of everything that got me to this moment. Not only with the label, also with the DJ career and
everything. You were mentioning something about culture and Israeli DJs. You have a pretty unique sound. It sounds quite different from the rest of the world. How do you think culture impacts on your own production and label?
I feel like we're not really guided by any rules for electronic music, as opposed to a lot of European and American that had this music when they grew up. It was part of their culture. And our music was more, for me at least, more new wave, more rock stuff, more oriental stuff, Middle Eastern music. So I feel this had a big kind of, big influence in the sound. And I think the Israeli is very to the point kind of sound. It's not, I don't know many Israeli artists that their music is, very repetitive or stuff like this. It's a lot of straight to the point because I think it's the kind of country that it is. Israel is very, it's always in the kind of danger. It's always on the edge. Tel Aviv, the night scene is very, very tough in a good way. It's very kind of strict and, there's no spaces for bad stuff. When I grew up, at least. I don't know how it is now because I haven't been there. I mean, I am going there and I am playing there, but I feel, of course, there's new kids and new players and things changed a bit. But I feel like it was a very cutting edge city for everything, from restaurants to bars so you needed to adjust your music to make it fit, So it stays with you as a producer also, you still get to, I feel like the Israeli sound has more edgy, not than a lot of things, but just like not more, but let's say it's very edgy, it's like a very edgy sound.
And this is our last question. So it is, what advice can you give to all the new producers out there that they are just starting to make music? Is there some advice you can give to them?
What I do for all the people that send me music, just don't send to people music before you have 40, 50 finished tracks. It's like one track is great. And even if you get signed and it's something that's not good for you. Success is not a good thing for a creative process. I think failure is a much better effect on your creative process. Because if you get signed and a release, it's like I said before, with the release plan for the label, you need to have a release plan and not just run after releases. So the one thing I say is make a lot of music, sit on the music, play it outside. If you are a DJ, and you have gigs, play it, see how it works, and then start to send out. You start to send out, and you have one. Trust me, if not this label and this comes out, then 500 other labels will want your music also, and you will have music for it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks for everything. Thanks for having us and for giving us some information about all these things. I think if you want to share something more in general, or do you want to say something more before we leave?
I feel like it's first of all, it's very important the things you do, because I've been a few times in Tulum, and you know, especially a city that is based on what we're doing, and it needs this tourism and this dance tourism, you know, to for the livelihood of a lot of people there. And I'm very happy that there are people that care about, because I believe that even the you know, the person that is with the lowest key in the situation is as important as whatever, as the DJs, as the owners, as everything, you know. And also I did the same thing with my with the label. We started a relief fund if anybody wants to donate, and this will be like grants that we'll give to anybody from the night scene, from light guys, sound guys, whoever is going to need the money in a bit, because hopefully it's going to change soon, but we can't control this, so we really don't know. It could take a year even before we can go back to partying. So thank you for what you're doing, and I hope we'll see you soon. It's one of my favorite spots, Papaya Playa. So.
Yeah, we hope to have you here again.
I'm ready to go back.
You're ready to come back?
Yeah. Last time was another full moon. I don't. When was it? October or something?
Yeah. October.
Yeah, it was amazing. I'm ready to come back.
It was a great
I'm here.
one.
I'm nearby. You can see. I'm not that far. Because I can smell you.
Okay, that's great. You know, you're always welcome here.
Thank you very much.
Last time it was a blast, so we're pretty sure next time it's gonna be the same.
Happy to be part of the family. Take care and stay out of trouble there, and enjoy the beautiful beach behind you.
Goodbye over there. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone for watching. This was the interview with Moscow Man. Thank you for staying with us, and enjoy.